let's get into the Atlantic shit. I recently came to an opinion that Atlantic might be headed towards being the next Def Jam. Atlantic, in the last couple of years, let me go to their website. Atlantic Records. Actually, maybe their Wikipedia will do it justice. Nah, I'll just go here. Atlantic has been known to sign some of the, really hot young artists of our time. By the way, anybody in Atlantic that don't like this, it's Big Act. I've done business with y'all. Y'all have paid me quite handsomely. But I only owe the people, brother. It's the same reason y'all fuck with me. So Atlantic Records, what's going on right now, they're getting cheap. So for the next year or year or two, if you're an artist trying to sign to a label, Atlantic probably is not going to be a viable option. I'm going to give you the reason why in a second. Historically, Atlantic kind of had a tight grip on the younger artists ever since about like 2015 to 2016, and they've had the lion's share of the ones that were popping. We could go down the list. We'll see some of the people here. A Boogie, right? A Boogie, obviously a big artist in the game. Let me go to active. My bad. Let me just go to active. A Boogie. I can think about a bunch. PNB Rock. Busy Banks is really new. Meek Mill was there. Obviously, NBA YoungBoy was there. Kodak Black was there. Now they also do have Ed Sheeran. You see Ed Sheeran over here, right? They got Don Toliver, right? I'm talking about people who affect culture a little bit. They still have a few, but you're realizing, and I'm telling you, most people are leaving. I'm gonna tell you why. They're getting cheap. I'm gonna give you the exact reason why they're getting cheap. They used to have all the. Give me some new people. Give me some other people that were on Atlantic. I'm gonna give you the whole breakdown. Right? Let me see who else. Kevin Gates there. Kodak, as I said before. Who else? Lil Skies, Lil Uzi Vert. They have Lizzo. They've had a pretty much a good hold and a good chokehold on the majority of young artists who are putting out shit. They had Nipsey there. Nipsey was independent for a while. They got him. No Cap, OT Genesis, PNB Rock. They still have on their website. Okay, Quando Rondo's on there. Okay, they still have some people, even though some of these niggas ain't on Atlanta no more. Roddy Ricch. Who else? We're going down the thing. Let me see. Who else? Wiz Khalifa. They still have YoungBoy on and shit. Okay. Let me give you how to break down what's going on with this entire thing. So Atlantic Records, okay? Atlantic Records has gotten incredibly cheap within the last year, which is meaning that all the artists that were up for extensions and additional negotiations to further their contracts are essentially now in positions where Atlantic won't meet their needs. So Atlantic is either dropping them or they're choosing to leave. Okay? I'm going to give you examples, and I'll tell you why. Somebody say, yo, hey, Ack, you might have lost, it looked like you might have lost about half a pound. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Yeah, I know. I don't care what type of backhand compliment. I like it. Anyway, so let me keep on this Atlantic train. Oh, Cardi B's on Atlantic. Why they ain't got her on here? Did I miss her? Cardi is on here. Oh, I didn't. Okay, she's right here. Okay. Let me tell you what's going on in Atlantic right now. Kodak Black is up for a renegotiation. It is expected that Kodak Black is going to leave. Kodak Black said on social media that he's hoping to get $40 million. If you don't believe me, I could type it in here. Kodak Black, $40 million. Look.
Welcome back to the channel.
Okay, I don't know who that is. Your voice is very deep.
Trying to sign a $40-50 million deal, homie. Gonna buy me a PJ. What's like big PJs, homie? Don't know what shit won't fly regular. ATV there, wait there, bitch. Cut open a lot of kill, pumping all your truck.
Okay. I'm giving you out a game here, people. This is Price's game. You'll never get this from nobody else's Big Act. This is why they don't play with me no more. Kodak is leaving Atlantic. Atlantic is not giving him $40 million. No way, no how, not a chance in fucking hell. Okay? They're not giving him $40 million. If you're wondering why Meek Mill ain't on Atlantic, they're not giving Meek Mill whatever he wants either. I don't know that number. If I did know that number, I would report it. But from what I hear, Atlantic is very stingy now. Okay? I told y'all before, when what they offered YoungBoy was reportedly $25 million. YoungBoy got more than that. I know the actual deal. Won't give too much specifics in terms of what it is, but he got more than that. He's leaving. Who else? PNB Rock. They needed to continue to fund him and up the money they need to pay him. They wasn't down to do that. They released him as well. Okay? A bunch of these other artists you're going to see on here, they're going to start becoming independent or they're going to start move away. Here's the thing that Atlantic is in. And this is why, as much as musicians try to act like they're the end-all be-all when it comes to the industry, you're in the music business. You're not just a nigga dropping music on SoundCloud. The business dictates a lot of times what your career is going to be. So, I'm going to give you a rundown of why Atlantic is cheap now. They don't want to pay nobody. Atlantic is trying to save money, and Atlantic is trying to obviously show that they're very profitable. This is how labels work. Atlantic owns the masters for Meek Mill. They own the masters, or the majority of the masters, for YoungBoy, Kodak, and other artists. The reason why they're unwilling to spend now, as previous before, is because of this. Sometimes you got to understand the business to understand what the fuck is going on. I'm going to walk you through it. Y'all got to follow me with the Googles. Let me give you, again, I'm walking out in a very elementary way. Atlantic Records, somebody says Realtor 2 is on Atlantic, I'll talk about it too. Atlantic Records, let's go to the Googles, right? And by the way, this is the reason why I feel like I'm criminally underrated, because y'all never give me credit when I be like breaking shit down to a science for y'all. Atlantic Records, just look here. I'm going to just put it up there. Look above me right there. Atlantic Records, the parent company, it says Warner Music Group. So if you don't know, Atlantic Records is owned by Warner. It's not owned by Universal like most labels, most popular labels. And Sony does own some, like including Epic and RCA and few. Anyway, Atlantic is owned by Warner Music Group. Why is this important? Why am I bringing it up now? Warner Music Group. So in reality, Warner Music Group, IPO. This is very important. When you see a label starting to go public, they're now going to be additionally funded by investors, but also now they're publicly traded, and basically the stockholders are the people they need to answer to. So, if you don't know, let me I'm about to show you. Okay. About 2 years ago, Warner announced his IPO. My bad. Okay. Here it is. New York Times. Warner Music launches its IPO. The Warner Music Group, the home of stars like Ed Sheeran, Cardi B, Led Zeppelin, announced on Tuesday will proceed with an initial, hopefully I don't got to pay for this because New York Times be charging. Okay. It'll proceed with an initial public offering that will value the company at $13.3 billion. A listing planned for NASDAQ. By the way, this is 2020 when this happened. Listing plan for NASDAQ would be the latest sign of the dramatic turnaround in the fortunes of the music business. So basically, what does that mean? It means that them offering to go public means that the music business that was suffering when CD sales went down because of piracy, and now streaming came back around, streaming revenue has been going up and up, they're saying the music business is back. So that's why they're going public. So that's what that clear statement was about. The listing plan for NASDAQ will be the latest sign of dramatic turnaround in the fortunes of the music business. Warner was bought for $3.3 billion by Access Industries. And by the way, I know these people. I don't want to, I didn't sign NDAs, but let me not say too much. The conglomerate controlled by the Ukrainian-born billionaire Len Blavatnik. Okay? I'll say it. Yeah, I met with his son a bunch of times. His son also operates and controls everything, especially when it comes to like Atlantic. His son is more the hip guy. This is just a billionaire who's a fucking rich nigga who just buys shit. You feel me? He owns Warner, right? He's given like his son, which, his son Val, like, yo, you look over Atlantic type shit. You feel me? I met with him before. I was trying to do some shit with him, whatever. Yeah. So basically, these are billionaires. They don't give two fucks really about money that much. They could throw around money, not because they paid 3.3 billion for it, means that they don't have tens of billion more. You can look up these guys. That's just what it is. Now, granted, when they were trying to go public, they were valuing the company for 13.3 billion, which means that's 10 billion more that they initially bought it for, which was 2011, 9 years before. Okay, this is gonna be confusing to a lot of you dumb niggas. So this is gonna be on YouTube. You can watch it 10 times. Cool. So essentially, they're listing a company for 10 million plus more than what they actually bought it for, right? So now when you get a company that's publicly traded, everything now becomes public in terms of what you're earning, what you're going to be making, and you now need a value, like if you're selling the stock price for a certain amount, because you value the company at 13.3 billion, you need to show profit loss statements and all type of financial statements that will match that. Okay, this is all going to make sense. Just give me a second. Let me keep reading through this. Since then, the music business has been reinvigorated by streaming. I just said that. Leading investors cash in. A bunch of people cash in, obviously. Last year, the Chinese company Tencent Holdings, bought 10% of Universal Music Group, which is valued at 33 billion. The reason why they got the 13.3 billion here for Warner is that Warner is about 1/3 the size of Universal, just in market share, just in everything, right? So if a Chinese company, which by the way, they have shit ton of money, Tencent Holdings, a Chinese company, they bought 10% of Universal Music Group that value Universal at 33 billion, right? If I'm 1/3 of my competitor and they just sold a piece of their shit for 1/3 of 33 billion, I'm worth about 10 billion, right? That's where they came up with the 13.3 billion. Okay, just to let you know. Cool. The Warner IPO will float. And I know this is probably gonna be so boring to y'all, but this is how. If you're wondering why your favorite artist ain't on Atlantic, you need to understand this. This is how deep it gets, right? It's not about no hating. Like I know in a simplistic, dumb way, niggas is hating. No. It's all business. You got to read these articles. You got to really get in terms of the business. Okay. Warner IPO will float about 70 million shares or 13.7% of its common stock between whatever share, valuing the company between 11.7 to 13 billion. It's a fair evaluation considering how their size in the marketplace compared to UMG. UMG got a 10% buy that valued them at 33 billion. Okay. Warner nearly had 3 billion in debt. Remember this? I always tell y'all, everybody complains about their record label. They're not complaining about how much debt their record label is going into investing in them. They don't care. Warner had $3 billion in debt, $484 million in cash at the end of March, which would put the company's enterprise value at $16 billion if shares sell at the high end. Now, what this does also is that all of their financials, especially quarterly, become public. They can't hide it no more. Now you're offering an IPO. You have to submit quarterly earnings and also your quarterly statements to let people know what the state of the company is. Okay. According to company prospectus and its underwriters, Morgan Stanley. So yes, if you don't know, even the record labels use banks. What this means, the company. So okay, jeez. I feel like I've lost y'all, but there's some smart niggas watching this, and it might not be on the stream. It probably when it gets uploaded on YouTube, they'll probably get it. So even a record label has underwriters. If you're ever taking out a loan, like for example, if you're ever taking out a loan or if you're ever taking out insurance, someone has to underwrite a lot of times the loans or the insurance policy to make sure that if anything fails, they'll be able to pay out a certain amount, right? For a record label, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, and Goldman Sachs, they were the underwriters of this whole fucking thing, right? Cool. Warner share being sold by whatever, and Okay, I'm trying to get to some shit that we could, because I want to break down every fucking thing. I don't want to make it this boring. Streaming, Okay, cool. All right. This is just when they went for the IPO, so this doesn't say much. what needs to happen, or what needs to be understood, is that a lot of times once there's an IPO, which is an initial public offering, the people who are in that deal to go public, they get assured stocks that eventually at a certain point will mature. I'm going to give you another example. Jimmy Iovine, who sold Beats, Jimmy Iovine beats Apple. Apple bought Beats. Okay? Let me see. Okay. I'm trying to explain this, but this is kind of some business shit. Okay, let me just talk. I'll just talk. So when Jimmy Iovine left Interscope, him and Dr. Dre had Beats. But there was also like Beats Music with it, right? Apple Music wanted to basically take the Beats headphones, kill Beats Music, right? Because they were working on Apple Music. And they wanted, I think they paid like, I forgot what the number is. Was it $4 billion? I can't remember what it was. Anyway, when these deals are done, right, they'll quote unquote absorb the company. So that's what they do. They'll be like, we bought the company, we absorb them. And what happens is, because these guys are the face of the company that they absorb, they give these guys incentive that they have to stay for a certain time before they could cash out. So they don't just give you money, you can just run out the door as soon as the purchase is done. For example, if somebody bought, say I sold the DJ Akademiks brand, right? And they say, oh, I will give you $15 million to buy your brand, right? Which I wouldn't sell for, but whatever. We'll just use that number. If I said yes and they just give me $15 million, nigga, and I just walked out the door, and then I said, I'm not doing a DJ Akademiks brand no more. I'm doing blah, 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 blah brand. Instantly, DJ Akademiks brand is less valuable because my face isn't associated with it. So companies are smart. What they would do is, we're buying your brand. You're going to be the CEO. You got to be the CEO, right, of it for the next 3 years or whatever the case is. You'll get either these bonuses, or we'll give you stock if it's a public thing, and your stock, quote unquote, matures at a certain point. Now, again, this might sound confusing. By the way, this happens all the time. TMZ is not owned by Harvey Levin anymore. Harvey Levin sold TMZ to Turner, I believe. He has to stay with the company because without his face, TMZ isn't as valuable. The UFC isn't owned. UFC isn't owned by Dana White anymore. It used to, or used to have a significant ownership stake. They purchased it, but when they do that without Dana White, it's less valuable. Also, you don't want Dana White to go create a competitor. So you keep him in there, you give him a salary as a CEO, and also you give him stock. Okay, why am I saying this? I'm going to bring it right back to Warner. When Warner went public, keep in mind this is a $3 billion flip. They're trying to convince people that is now worth $13 billion, and in spite of people saying, streaming has been doing well, this is what I'll say, right? Warner needed to show people that it's making a lot of money. First of all, Warner Music Group buys 300 Entertainment. All this shit matters. So 300 Entertainment was bought by Warner. They have a lot of catalog, Fetty Wap, old Migos shit. They have a lot of shit there. They bought it for $400 million. Okay? Also, here's another thing. The head of Atlantic has a relationship, and you'll know, I don't want to call people's particular names out. Head of Atlantic has a relationship with the head of Warner, so they overpaid. Some people said that this deal should have been worth maybe $280. Shouldn't be $400, but whatever the case. Anyway, they overpaid. They acquired 300 Entertainment. Okay? They did this in, the date matters, December 26, 2021. Okay. Why are they doing this? What's going on? Warner, okay, so Warner owns Atlantic and a bunch of other places, ADA, Asylum, whatever the case is. Warner fires a bunch of people. I hope you're getting what I'm getting at. Warner fires a bunch of people. They're buying companies that they just believe are going to be profitable. Let me give you why they're doing it. Warner is trying to show investors that they are profitable. And what does that mean? You're not making long-term investments at the moment. When you sign an artist, a lot of times, just like when people either buy property or whatever the case is, you're not going to get a return on your money in 6 months. You get a return on your money like in 10 years. They just went public. Warner goes public. They're trying to show investors who probably bought their stock that they're profitable instantly. So how do they do that? They need to cut their debt, cut their losses, and only show profit. Here's the thing about music. When you own a motherfucker's catalog, that shit's going to make money without you having to do much. When you have to invest in their new music, you're going to have to be putting 10, 15, $30 million hoping to make back 80, but over 10 years. Do you get what I mean? So the point of what I'm trying to say is that Warner started firing people, right? And also instructed the people, and especially Atlantic under them, some of these artists, unless they're quick flips, we don't need to sign. So now think about it. Kodak's a legend. Kodak just heard about another deal another nigga got. So he wants to get $40 million. So Kodak's walking into Atlantic like, yo, my contract finna be up. Yo, give me $40 million. Like, that's how I'm going to stay. They doing the math. When are they going to make back $40 million off Kodak? They're going to recoup, but it's not going to recoup in time to make it look good for their investors. So now they're on a scheduled, it's like any public company. You show quarterly earnings. So now what they're doing is they're cutting the fat. Oh, Meek Mill want a big contract? Nah, brother, we not doing no big contract. You could go. Another nigga who's saying, yo, bro, you owe me this advance. You going to pick it up or what? If not, I got to go. So PNB, you could go. They're letting these niggas go strictly off business. I hope you guys understand it. Like the people who know a little bit about business will get what I'm saying. Atlantic Records, and by the way, this is what I heard. The executives at Atlantic Records, because their stocks that they all got in this transaction when they went public, all of them they stand to get like $80 to like $140 million each. These are executives. These ain't rappers. Executives. So all they got to show to be good executives is that they are making money, not losing money. So right now isn't the time for Atlantic to sign niggas for big deals, because if you sign a nigga like Drake for $600 million, right? You're probably gonna make $2 billion off of the catalog he's gonna give for that deal, but you're gonna make it in 5 to 10 years. You ain't gonna make it instantly. So now when a investor or a stockholder sees that you just paid 40 for Kodak, you gave Meek 40, you did this with PNB, you're reading up on all these other niggas who, you know how it's gonna look? So damn, so you tell me for last quarter, y'all paid out this amount of money, but y'all only got it in this. Oh, y'all not recouping for a while. This stock gonna go down. So the head of the companies, especially Atlantic, who all of them, they have to stay with the company until their stock, they can't sell their stock until it matures. They want their stock to be at the highest price, which means they got to show the company is profitable. How do you show the company profitable? We're not spending nothing, but we making money. They own all these niggas' catalog. They don't need to spend nothing. So you know what's happening? They're going to go, and I think it was about a 3-year mark. It's about getting there right now. They're all going to cash out. All going to cash out. You're going to start seeing musical chairs. Some are going to leave. Some going to whatever. And then Atlantic will start spending some money. So what's happening now, Meek isn't becoming a free agent by just randomness. Meek is becoming a free agent because Meek is a big artist that requires a big budget and a big spend. And Warner is, well, Atlantic actually, even though it's under Warner, they're thinking that, bro, we're not going to make that money back within the time to appease our investors, so our stock's going to go down. And that's the same thing with Kodak becoming a free agent. Kodak won $40 million. They're not giving them $40 million. Everybody I've talked to some of the highest A&Rs and executives, they expect Kodak Black to walk. Young boy, they offered him 25. He walked. He's out. PNB, they let him go. Do y'all understand that? This is a reminder that while you act and think ignorantly about the music game, and you listen to rappers who just sit there and just, yo, I want this, I want that. There's higher level of business going on that dictates all of this. Y'all don't think there's a coincidence why everybody's leaving Atlantic? Atlantic don't want to pay these things no more. But Atlantic ain't broke. Atlantic got 23 now. 23 projects. 23 projects from Youngboy. Got all these other niggas masters too. They're making money. They just want to show they're making the most money right now. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm interested to see what a nigga who is as talented as Meek Mill and who should have the drive and is completely independent could do. Because right now it's going to be all about his hustle unless he's going to sign somewhere else. And I think wherever he signs to now, I don't know what they'll pay him and if it will be up to his standard. He's a really seasoned artist that I don't think Meek would be looking for no type of record deal that would be less than 20. And I don't know if these labels are running to him trying to give him that, considering what they have to undertake. Because here's the thing about it. If Atlantic gives Meek 30, they have to, a $30 million deal for him is probably a $100 million investment for you. Because you also got to pay for his recording, marketing. You got to figure out everything else. This is a full record deal. It's not just distribution. Okay? So, like, whatever the label gives you, they're probably hitting it with a 3X on what they're going to have to pay out in terms of trying to make you a success. So they give you 30, but they're like, well, we're going to need all this money for promotion. We're going to need all this money for clearing records, beats, all that shit. We're going to have to be compensating travel, this, that, and third, whatever. So the money they're thinking that they got to get to recoup is one number. Then nobody wants to get in the business where they're only recouping. Niggas like to, nobody makes a movie just to be like, yo, yeah, the movie cost $5 million and we made $5.5 million. No, nigga, that's a L. You won't be like, the movie cost $5 million, I made 15. Be like, oh, that's fire. You 3X'd it, right? So the labels are looking at some of these dudes, especially older artists. You see these new artists, they'll sign these niggas for like $1 million or $2. $1 million or $2 if these niggas hit, really good flip. You hit Kodak with 40, nigga, Kodak gotta not only stay free, but go crazy to go get you back your fucking 200 that you probably need to make you feel good about this shit. That's the point. Just a little insight for y'all. I know y'all also probably are wondering, well, what about Youngboy? Youngboy just dropped a project. By the way, I know people were so upset at me. They were like, yo,